All right, you want to call roll?
Yeah. Commissioner Castillo-White.
Yeah.
Chair Jansen.
Here.
Commissioner Stevens.
Here.
Commissioner Kester.
Here.
Commissioner Hill. Vice Chair Steffen.
Okay, for anybody who would like to, we'll stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have, we actually do have public. We have Paul here. Paul, is there anything that you would like to share with us tonight?
No, not right now, thanks.
Yes,
I
Don.
had invited someone and he may be late. He's Jay Ellis and he's working on a, there he is. Come on down. He's working on a project up Buxton Hill. To the left, he purchased in his companion a blue home, and he's doing some work behind it. And this may not be the best place to talk about it, but I was just telling him we were working on Hungry Hill. We value that area. And then he just had some, I'll let him speak. But if you don't mind, I'll invite him in.
Yeah, sure thing.
And then is he, hello, hello, welcome, it's public comment time, so take a seat here and then you can just tell us who you are and kind of your interest in.
Come on up.
Come on up. You can come up here. And introduce yourselves, let us know where you're from and what your project is and.
Hi.
Good morning. All right, good morning, good evening. Works for me. It worked well today. My name is Jay Ellis, this is Don Michelle Hall, and we have a company called InStyle Design, and we do residential real estate development in East County, specifically Gresham, Fairview, and Troutdale. Recently, we just completed about a year ago 2 attached townhouses on Halsey at 1024. I'm sorry, I forgot to say we're from Gresham. And yeah, 1024 unit A and B. We kind of came up with this unique design. Instead of being the side wall or the shared wall, party wall, depending on their nomenclature, being shared the whole entire structure, we bumped out the garage 3 feet. Okay. To get past the 3 feet's the magic number for the fire guy, for the firewall standards and whatnot. But it also gives you kind of a living separation too. So you only, and that was a unique, we try to do that. We're doing something similar in Fairview, but sometimes lot dynamics don't always allow that. But we try to be a little innovative instead of just doing like these, we're small, obviously small, 3 or 4 type of houses a year.
New construction?
Yes, usually, hence my presence tonight. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm kind of giving you a little backstory, and over the years, I've done a lot, different projects in Troutdale. Probably one of the ones most happy about how it turned out was close to Diane's place, Beaver Creek Cottages over by Glen Park.
Yeah, totally. I love that area.
Yeah, I mean,
You did
that and
Beaver Creek Cottages.
You did.
they were gonna do row homes and he really is
That's
considerate of the area and uniqueness and they chose to go a different route. And the beauty of it is if anybody went into each one of those houses, they maximize the view amazingly. The inside spaces
You
were
guys did, you did a nice job.
Thank you. Yeah, Diane, kind of dovetail what Diane's saying.
Yeah.
Jackson Parkway, the development where there was the old cottage and then they ended up.
Benchmarked the
developing and
cottage.
building, like,
Anita's old
That was
house.
phenomenal.
Right,
Yeah, oh, okay.
You took the design, you expanded on it, but the basic feel stayed the same and you just made more of them,
Right.
which
Yeah, they did.
it was perfect. It fits. It really did.
10 years ago?
I've lived here since '91, so I saw it
Yeah. He
Yeah.
said.
I'm thinking like
I always loved that
That's the
cottage, he
project
just
he
took
said
it to the next
project.
level, but brought
So
in,
he did that.
yeah, it's still user-friendly, tons of people walk there.
Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, Frank. I really do. It's, Man, was there a lot? I mean, I'm sure I've ended on it a few times, just a segue, just a short second. And Diane knows this better, anyway. Doing that project, you start on the right, you don't know, you kind of think where you want to go, but you're not sure how you're going to get there, kind of thing. Well, I got this. Friend of a friend hooked us up with the Aspinalls that were the long time owners. So, okay, yeah, well, I think we can do this because I did the Edgefield Estates project back in the early 2000s. Over there. And that was another one where, that's where planning staff on that one wanted me to turn it into a apartment complex. Zoned A2, but it had the town center overlay, so at that time, you were able to do detached. And it took 4 years. My partner, it was before Michelle, but planning staff was like, let's just say, hey, this is like, you're like a year into the planning, right? You're almost about ready to break ground. Hey, I've been thinking about it, if it, just almost verbatim, I know. But the point was, if it quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck, it might be a duck. I'm like, what are you talking? We're starting 40 detached houses. Yeah, but you could do, 80 apartment units. We don't want to do apartment. We just want to do detached houses.
So what brings you to us tonight?
Okay. So I've recently, there's a kind of unique situation. I just finished, Don, Michelle, and I were helping our friend of ours do the horizontal development for the project on 3rd Street across the street, townhouses, similar to the 2nd Street on that one, which is closer to the core. And its own HDR TC. So that's town attached and stuff. So then.
On 3rd Street exactly, or up Dora?
No, right across the street. Yeah.
Right over here.
At a
No,
point-
I know where 3rd Street is, trust me, but there's also gonna be development up Dora.
Yeah, no, not.
From 3rd up
We
Dora.
looked at that one, but yeah, just this one,
Okay.
literally, they just poured a foundation. But then we got done with the horizontals and we had some other stuff to do, so we handed over the vertical baton to another builder. And, we had a lull in the schedule basically till we do some more stuff in Fairview. And then this house on 5th at 102 Southeast 5th Street came on the market. And realtor, I think Carrie Knight works with John and Scott, the local guy, Gresham, John and Scott. Jay, this place came on the market, it's got a big lot. It's corner, it's got a cute house. So I just, okay, let's go check it out. And walked in and go, man, this place is cute. It's built in 1952, all hardwood floors. I have a picture I could hand around the room, you guys interested?
Hardwood?
Yeah.
So, I only took
Outside.
the exterior picture.
I'm a tree guy, so yeah, but anyway.
Do you want me to hand it? Do you want to see the picture?
It's the corner blue house on Buxton.
Yeah.
So the one that was recently for sale with the steep driveway.
Yeah.
They're currently working on the back. Yeah. So that's.
So we were gonna put one unit in the back, right?
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. And I think this is slam dunk, right? So traffic's a little, it's 25 miles an hour, we put like a little share, it's got the main driveway, they kind of shut off the steep driveway for the main driveway comes out. So I go to the pre-app, I go, okay, we'll put this, that, and I wanted to keep the original house. It kind of reminded me of the house I grew up in. It was all hardwood floors, old school, on tile bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Ground. It's really small, but it's cute, right? And I go to planning, or pre-app, and they say, oh, what you want to do doesn't quite fit what we're thinking. And I go, what do you, I'm just summarizing to Reader's Digest. Well, we're thinking you should tear down that house and put in 4 more row houses. I'm like, what? I mean, row houses fit, I'm thinking, closer to here. That's where I kind of reached out. I don't want to tear down that house. But 4 more, I just spent 4 years going through that. So I'm kind of like saying, they're pushing me to do something different than I intended to do on the southern portion. Planning staff. So I'm trying to.
Our planning staff?
We've outlined your options on what you can and can't do.
Well,
That's
so there's some,
we're
I
meeting
have a
tomorrow to
meeting.
talk about it.
There's
no reason to discuss it here.
I'm sorry?
We're meeting tomorrow to talk about it. We've given you your options. We emailed back and forth.
Oh, you're Nick.
That's right. We don't need to talk about it here. That's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's why I'm being really delicate. Really, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I didn't know you were Nick. I never met you in person.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
We're happy to meet with you tomorrow.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it. I was just about ready to say, right now, I'm kind of limited, but I'm just saying, that's what's been laid out to me, so it is kind of awkward that I brought this up, but since we talked and you asked me earlier today.
Yeah, and Nick, I'll just fill in a little bit. The reason I had him come, to encourage him to come was to continue the conversation because a lot of us have been on TCAP, the first go around Town Center Committee. And we were always talking about what would happen on Hungry Hill. And the more I thought about it is if everything gets changed and turned into tons of condos and whatever, then the character, there's gonna be no character in Troutdale. So I didn't know, the conversation is, and knowing that things are in action, but what about the future? And this is pertinent to other issues that may pop up there. Because when we had Chris Damgen as the planner, we had always talked about what would occur there, and could we change zoning, could we not change zoning? I know it's a different discussion, but what seemed interesting here is he was trying to keep the character of a sweet little home in the front, but add also, so there's 2, and then again, I know I don't understand system development fees and all the codes and stuff like that, but I just thought, I told him that how we're doing encouraging signage for Hungry Hill, and I just thought this was just a spillover of conversation, and just for educational purposes, so in the future, but also that it was interesting that, again, he wanted to keep the character of an older home. It's not historic, but it still has the charm of Hungry Hill, of what we're doing. We're putting a whole bunch of stuff in, mix. Like I said, if every craftsman style or older home is gonna be gone in that area, we'll label it Hungry Hill, but it'll all be condos. But anyway, so that was the only point. So I just, that's why I said I didn't know if this was pertinent to the conversation or not, but
Yeah, and I was actually, Nick, you cut me off right when I was gonna cut myself off. I was just about ready to say, I'm kind of limited, because I do, and I appreciate all the work Nick did to facilitate a meeting tomorrow morning with staff, current staff, right? And I'm incredibly grateful for that. So I sent an email to Nick this morning and say, hey, thank you very much. We look forward to it. I have this idea, and I got a couple other ideas where I'm hoping we could find a middle, where, and sometimes I'm in the middle of work, and I get an email, I'm like, oh man, I don't read it right, my eyes are right, and I'm like, have to take a deep breath. So I appreciate staff, and I look forward to the meeting tomorrow. I think we're gonna get really productive.
Yeah, you have tons of options.
Yeah, and I kind of, and I'm kind of, hey, I really think we're gonna figure something out that works for all of us. But, that being said, I really would, I'd really care about keeping that current house and then figuring out what.
I don't think we want you to tear it down. I don't think staff
I felt like that.
is sitting behind closed doors plotting for you to tear it down. That's not-
Maybe I read, sometimes you read things, intent doesn't always come across right, so.
We just outline your options. We just look at the code and say, legally, here's what you can do. And the choice of what to do is always in the developer's hands, so you.
Yeah, so, I'm not here, like I said, I didn't even know, you were Nick, right? So, but now I can see, sorry. It was- Like I said, by getting older, sometimes I lose it, but, yeah, and I got just a little homework to do tomorrow for the meeting. I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. Just right before we leave, I've seen a lot of staff come and go over 25 years of working in the city, and the current staff, I got a good relationship, and I like to keep that going, right? Where sometimes it hasn't always been as charming as a relationship. But anyway, so that ends that, so I'll shut my mouth and open it up tomorrow morning. Yeah, and bring some people.
Well, we really appreciate your desire to, and what you've done to help contribute to maintaining a charming kind of small town feel in Troutdale for those developments that you have done. So thank you.
Yeah, and it's just a close. We grew up here. We love it here. I love Troutdale.
Why do you live in Gresham?
I used to live in Troutdale. That's where Boss wants to live, so I like the. But anyways, maybe come back right now. But thank you. Yeah.
So nice meeting you.
Yeah, I've never been. I think she was like, "Where are you?"
No, you're great.
Let's check it out. I mean, this is my first one.
Okay.
Wasn't like to talk smack about this. All right, good Lord. Thank you.
Have a good evening.
All right.
Bye.
Okay, that was fun to meet him, that he did that community down there.
Yeah,
That's great.
Yeah,
That-
yeah. They're gonna do row homes, and
Yeah,
Glenn
I
talked to
remember
him, and then him and Jonah,
Yeah, that was great.
yeah.
It was fun, super. All right, well, Nick, it's back to you.
Yeah. Public comment, we could do our TCAB
Yeah,
nomination.
who was it last year? Was it Jim?
No,
Was it
Or
Adrian?
it was you?
it was me.
Okay, and,
I'd like to give it a try if you guys are
Yeah,
okay with it.
okay, you wanna pass it
I
off?
I would like to pass it,
It
because,
falls in line with kind of what Diane's talking about and what Nick and I were just talking about. I heard the hill, as well as the fact that I'm constantly briefing people downtown about the history of the area. Seems like I spend most of my coffee shop time talking about it. But TCAB fits for me because I'm downtown a lot. And then I've been going to all the meetings, so it's not like I'm not up to speed on what's going on.
Yeah. Is there anybody else that's interested also?
I'm on it.
Are you already on it, and you want to be off, and you want to be on? Okay, my only concern was when you said yes, I was like, wait a minute, because I heard concern about them losing a lot of experienced members.
I've only been on it for.
No, it's
a
totally
year, so,
fine.
yeah.
No, if you don't want to be on it, it's a no-brainer, then all in favor of,
Was Jim Hill on it?
Jim Hill's on it.
He's on it regardless of TCAB or, okay,
That was
Jim
the-
might be on.
good to know,
for parks, maybe.
good to know.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Adrian's been
I
on
can look
it.
it up if you want.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah,
So if you can.
We had to make sure that Jim didn't, this was the last CAC meeting. So we had to make sure that Jim did not get bumped,
right,
so we put Woodrow on for CAC, knowing that Jim would probably go into the at-large position, which brought Woodrow on for CAC. and that opened the door. You're already on it.
Thanks. Yeah, that was just a big blur at that CSD.
Victoria, yeah, there was a lot of topics. Victoria Rizzo's still on it. The same names are still on it.
Yeah, Jim's on it.
Okay, good,
All right,
okay.
great.
Then there should be no conflict.
Do we need to take a vote on that or not, or just say, I think
Actually, yeah,
everybody's
we
in
probably
agreement?
should.
That's what works for me.
Well,
Should be a motion and a
yes,
second.
there should be a motion. Would somebody like to make the motion?
Move that the HLC nominates Frank Stevens as our representative to Gavin.
Second it. Second, great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous, no need for nays. Excellent. Thank
As much as I still hold interest in the downtown, just from proximity and living in it, I'm not sure I'm technically in the overlay in my house, but, I certainly look at it all.
That's true.
But having been nominated to planning commission, my
Yeah, your plate has gotten full.
my docket got a lot more full, so.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, great. Well, thank you for your service, and Frank, thanks for stepping up and filling that role.
That'll be fun.
All right. Timeline update for code update.
Yeah, sorry for using the word update twice in this section, but,
Okay.
yeah.
Sometimes you don't know it until somebody says it out loud.
Yeah, general updates on kind of what I've been doing and what we have scheduled. So August 13th will be our code update, going to Planning Commission.
Great.
We anticipate that to be probably one hearing, I would imagine. So following that would be early fall, when it goes to council to be adopted or voted on. And then mid-fall would be when we submit our district application.
To,
So we'd start with PC, Planning Commission.
okay.
What else? General updates related to what we've talked about. We're working on a historic district webpage on the website.
Oh, cool.
I've been working on drafting some language, and figured if any of you have any snippets that you really want to share or think are pivotal or are fun about Troutdale history, feel free to write a paragraph or a sentence or two and send it over.
We've got a ton of
Could
things.
get lengthy.
Yeah. We've done that.
Yeah.
Didn't we submit that several years ago when we did the whole,
Did
we
you?
did that, we submitted things, when they did the whole computer thing, they were creating a new site and they were creating a site, some stuff.
There's a history site on the website, history page on the website.
Uh-huh, and they've got links, they've already got links to various things. Want to look at it?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, it's really good, so we could direct them, have a few things on it, but then also
I
then
mean, just
direct them to the Troutdale page, the
yeah,
history
use-
page.
Use that, yeah.
But put a couple things in, so we have a,
And then, right, about
have a
the
good
HLC,
page.
yeah.
a
I think we talked about putting on houses that were
Already got-
designated.
I think those are already there.
I don't think they are.
Links.
Because I think there was a privacy one that kind of.
Oh, it's got to be something that was, I think we were just doing things that were historic landmarks.
Right, but the houses that have been already been designated, it'd be kind of cool to have that on that site, but then there was an issue of privacy, so maybe it's just a matter of going to the homeowners, I don't know.
Yeah,
But that'd be nice to see if people wanted to see what houses are actually, what landmarks we actually have.
there's a link to the church, I know that.
That'd be super cool to have. I
I think they're already there.
Yeah, there's quite a bit there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
all the homes are?
There's,
The landmarks for
there's
travel.
landmarks and
History in general.
various things,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, maybe we could feature your property, because then you have permission from you, it's already in the historic thing, and then we could feature it as one of
Well, but I'm
the,
saying, the ones, they're already there.
Is the McGinnis house?
We just need to merge.
Yes?
the two together.
There's actually there's a local, he worked with Sharon Nesbitt, a local historians. He had his own, I think not a Google site, but like his own post.
Yeah, that guy. What
Do
was
you know who I'm talking about?
so,
But he had a bunch of interesting
yeah.
facts that couldn't
What
be.
was that? I don't
Do you remember his name?
Nemesis?
I can't
There
remember.
is a lot.
remember his name.
There is a lot.
I know.
There's a ton.
So he literally had.
It's gonna make it really easy for you, Nick. Just take credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, borrow
Just,
something just for our cover page,
Yeah,
yeah.
But is there
that's funny.
Well, don't
specific
forget the
to
stuff we just
our
make up,
home
too.
landmark? Like the McGinnis house, is that on there? We know the church is on there. We know the Harlow house is on there. But we have some other ones. It was the Streben, Bob Streben's house,
I think they are.
McGinnis. What was the
I
third
think
one?
so. I think, and McGinnis Cedar Hill,
Gladiolas.
Cedar or something.
Oh,
It's one of my favorite stories.
was it the school?
No, no, no.
How-
No, the
The yellow, yes, the
Yeah. She
Olson
had,
house is what it's called.
yeah.
Yeah. Are all those on there? I don't know. There's a lot of other landmarks, but are there all those?
Ask Adrian, he's got it right there.
Mm.
I mean, it's hard making, because it's not particularly organized.
Okay.
It doesn't go by house, so.
Yeah, it's structures interspersed with general history bits and people and families and.
Good stories, though.
So maybe it can be, ours can be just specific to structures.
I mean, there's definitely
Oh, trees.
Trees and trees. yeah.
Does
more stuff that could go in there, yeah.
does staff still need us
And
to
Hungry
talk
Hill.
to the residents inside the
Yes,
historic
and the
district?
District, yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing flyers
Yeah.
for our notice. And I have a little snippet of that during, I guess we could just talk about it now.
Well, wait, before we leave this topic, Leanne and I were just discussing like the things that need to be addressed, that would be good on the HLC page would be the district, homes and trees that we designate. So we kind of do an overview and then what we do, and then we can get into these things that we.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea to bring up.
If McGinnis house isn't on there, I have, I did research on the house, so I have quite a bit.
I don't see it.
What were you saying, Frank?
Oh, no, it just lines up with, because I was gonna start asking, as I'm cruising around the hill, looking at some of the trees, and I know,
Yes,
especially this maple
Yeah.
across the street, oh my
Right.
gosh. If that one doesn't get on the heritage, it should be.
It
yeah.
should be, yeah.
That
So
would
that's
be-
why I'm asking, because I'm getting ready to walk up and knock on the door and go, hey, man, are you interested? Because I've got a couple of trees on these routes that,
Glenn's
Yeah.
friends with him, you might want to talk,
well, they have that white German Shepherd, which I have one too, so.
Okay.
You do?
okay.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a picture. I used to have one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can show me afterwards, actually.
Okay.
I want to see it too.
Because his name's Parker, Parker something.
Yeah, so it falls in line with the topics that we're talking about, and then you see how this is all kind of coming together.
Well, weren't we gonna put something in the Champion about encouraging people to?
So in this coming edition, this July one, we have a snippet. I can actually share the article with you guys.
Right.
If you want to see my pruning, I did those.
Let's see. It is very basic. I know when last meeting we talked about a lot of kind of like descriptor language on the actual district. This one's just saying, hey, heads up, we got something coming to you, and be aware of it. So it starts, over the past 8 years, the HLC has been exploring the feasibility of a historic district that encompasses Troutdale's first plats of record. While initial discussions of a proposed district were enthusiastic, a worldwide pandemic and untimely staff turnover stalled project discussion around 2023. The project is now picking up momentum, and the Historic Landmark Commission is set to prepare an application for Troutdale's first historic district in the coming months. So what does a historic district mean for residents? In short, the proposed district will not be regulatory, meaning a property's inclusion in the proposed district will have no additional requirements of any kind. The commission has no interest in creating a historic district that will be either cumbersome or prohibitive to property and business owners, and would rather celebrate and bring recognition to Troutdale's historic beginnings. The commission.
Real quick, Jim's trying to get in the Zoom.
Jim Hill.
Get in here, Jim.
Just do a click admit.
He has to do that from over there.
Oh.
Or do we give up?
I gave up. I don't see him anymore.
Oh, well.
I like it, it reads really well, Nick.
If Jim pops up, please yell at me right away.
Okay.
Can we mention Hungry Hill at all? Or send them to?
Yeah, good point. It doesn't have the actual name.
Yeah, we don't mention,
Although once you mention the name, then it begs that you explain why Hungry Hill.
Well, I thought maybe there's a link they could go and check it out.
Not for this one, so this is already
Okay.
done. It was
I think
like,
it's good.
like a week, and it's like, all right, let's get something.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of prepping for whoever reads the Champion. You'll be getting updates on this.
Great.
Check our commission agendas. Here's staff contact. You can come to our meetings for public comment, or you can write into us.
It might stir some people to show up.
You might also send this to the Historical Society. They could add it to their newsletter.
Oh,
And they should be apprised of what's going on. This is
Yeah.
very historic in nature, so.
Do they have any time for any additions added to that?
For this one?
Yeah.
No, but we have
Okay,
many future champions.
okay,
So-
no, I was just thinking pictures because the one Leanne sent, if only that portion was
Yeah, those are super
included, do you know what I mean? Because people are drawn to photos. So there's that squares, but whenever you have something, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just something to
Yeah,
kind of
absolutely.
draw you
This will
in.
pique their interest.
Yeah, it will. I think
It's
it's
a
good.
start.
So in the future, also, we want to try to encourage people to apply for their home, if their home to be historic
course.
or historic trees.
That would be a great thing to add.
So if we could probably have something in the Champion just about monthly.
Yeah, just like a recurring, hey, if you find
Yeah.
one of your structures or you see something that's historic that you want to protect and celebrate or et cetera.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah. I don't know if there's much protections for things right now in the current administration, but yeah. Celebrate is good. Recognize and celebrate. Commemorate.
Acknowledge.
Okay, fantastic.
Yep, so, website in progress, flyers, Frank, in progress. I think that's it for like code type updates or like work updates.
When you say in progress, what's your ETA?
Flyers will probably be, will be ready for, before council, so that
In the fall, you mean?
early fall. You want them earlier?
Well, we've got First Friday coming up. I'm gonna be tabling.
for the first Friday.
I'm not tabling for parks. If I'm already gonna be there, if you've got flyers, I could be handing them out for historic as well. So
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Fantastic.
that's August. We're gonna skip July.
Yeah, we can definitely hit August.
That'd be awesome. Thank you.
And with the website, it's really as soon as I put together just some kind of verbiage, and then I'll throw it off to Kevin to make a website, and you showed me that. So I think we're cruising with that.
That's great. That's super. Great.
Sure.
All right, any other staff communications that you have?
I don't. I have some for our next discussion item.
Okay. Yes, go.
So we're kind of in the process now of looking at how to put together our actual application. We're basically just waiting for planning commission to have time so we can do our code update. We'll go to council, and that's all kind of formality, just waiting for bureaucracy to happen. While we're waiting, we can start getting our application for the district using that code language we created. So did you all grab a copy of
Yes.
this that I had? Okay, so how the application would look is we're writing essentially findings for these number 3 approval criteria. And I've highlighted the ones that we need. So if we just go through the order, like,
Where do you get number 3 approval criteria?
oh, sorry, I'm just talking about, I guess I highlighted 4 things. Sorry, what I'm talking about, so A, approval criteria, the first little category. This can be demonstrated by a map. We've done that, we have a map, we're good. 2, historical narrative, an overview of the entire district based on its history, its architectural and urban design character. The narrative shall provide a basic background history of the area and justifies the significance of the district. I was curious if any of you would love to take a stab at any of these, in any capacity. It doesn't have to be the entirety of it.
I wouldn't mind going through the properties, and just documenting the ages, although I think we already have that.
We have a lot of it, and I can send you, I was looking earlier today, everything that we have. We have the properties listed, but we don't necessarily have like kind of a description or photographs.
Of each one, you mean?
Yeah, well, I don't think we have to do each one, right? That'd be intense.
Well, and I think homeowners could start to take issue with that.
They might be upset.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sharon, every 10 years, she went around and she took photos of these houses. Every 10 years.
So we could use the last time she did that.
It's probably more than 10 years ago.
You think it was more than 10? I don't think so. Because, I don't think so. I think it's been within the last 10 years.
Julie
Because I was not, because I was on the board.
would be able to tell you.
Let's do it. I'll look into that.
That'd be great if we could get that. But it's, in addition to photographs, you can just describe and use words. And kind of indicating how they contribute. Thanks for volunteering. Is anyone motivated by the historical narrative of our district? Does that pique anyone's interest?
You talking about Hungry Hill?
Yeah.
Story?
She's already got it.
It's very possible that well, it
I
is,
think it's already
Sharon
done.
has written,
Yeah,
but I'm just wondering if it's, how much narrative you want, and if it's something we can, use verbatim from her book. And, you know, obviously naming her as the author,
Yeah. Or if we change up words, we'd say, you know,
based on.
based
like
on,
credited by,
Yeah.
or,
yeah,
something like citing a source.
as long as we don't screw it up, because she'll get mad about it.
Yeah.
And that's why, you know, that's why I said I could go and glean things through there, but then, you know, it would just, it's a little more credible because,
Yeah, from a historian.
Because was she a journalist as well? Is that
Yes.
her background?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure how she wrote things is probably more than,
It's in a shorter synopsis too. As a journalist, she writes shorter.
Oh, yeah, she's very concise.
oh, great.
And there may be more than one iteration, her book, of course, and then there might be
Yeah,
others. So,
Yeah. It's incredible. Everything I say, you guys say we already had.
we got the answer so far.
I just know I probably shouldn't write any of it since it's gonna be, I'm gonna be on the planning commission when it comes in front of me.
Oh, sure. You could always recuse yourself.
Well, yeah, but even then, I'll keep my fingers out of it just to avoid the conflict.
Nick, the question I have for you is 50% or more of the resources 50 years of age? I mean, we looked into that 5 years ago, and it was, but I don't know how much it's changed. I mean, we've lost some buildings,
They've also gotten older.
and some have gotten older. I don't know how close they were, yeah, that's a good
When?
point.
Yeah. I will check.
50 years at this point is only 1975.
Yeah, that's true, it's probably all, the vast majority.
And for the record, going back to what Jay said, the city is not actively encouraging anybody to tear down.
Thank you for clarifying, I was gonna ask
Yes.
you later.
That is not our business. I'm happy to speak about it more out of the meeting,
Okay.
but just so everyone's aware, that's not our agenda.
So not encouraged or discouraged.
We just, here's the facts.
It's already coded. Yeah.
Not our choice.
Okay.
And then I highlighted 2 under B. I was curious what you guys would think the consensus would be on the easiest criteria to meet. So for B, it says meet one of the following. So I would be associated with events that have made a significant contribution to the broad patterns of local, state, or national history. And then 2, be associated with the lives of persons, organizations, or groups of people significant in local, state, or national history.
I think it's probably 2 with a little bit of 1. And I say that just because of Hungry Hill specifically was about the lives of the workers who work down at the bottom of the hill at the various industry down, and then they would be walking home up the hill lunch and then also walking home at the end of the day for dinner. So that's kind of the crux of the name. But then, the things that made significant contribution to the broad patterns of local history would be celery, which is farther down, not in this historic district. The Gladiola warehouse is kind of included, but now it's gone. So
Old City Hall.
Old City Hall. So I think primarily 2. What does everybody else think?
I think the overlap is definitely there. So
What would you say the overlap of 1 is?
with the be associated with events, when you're saying that it goes back to historical narrative, I think that's solid.
And which events are you thinking?
So you're going down the same list I was. So I was looking at Gladiola Farm, celery.
Yeah, but the celery was not in
But it
that
wasn't in that
historic
area.
district.
But
So that's what I think.
we definitely have the workers going up from the canyon.
Yeah, so it's 2.
Which is a story I always tell. So, yeah, when someone asks me why it's called Hungry
Yeah.
Hill, that's usually my first reference. And I think that's a solid one for
So I think it's two.
Lives of persons, organizations, so item 2. But the first one, I think, is pretty much a repeat of the historical narrative, where it says be associated with events that made a significant contribution.
Yeah, it'd have to be, if it was the celery area or the gladiola bulb was their warehouse, but they're not, so I think.
We just have to choose one, right?
One out
Yeah,
of
we
these
just need
4.
one out
Yeah.
of 4.
All we have to do is meet one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The historic, I mean, the distinctive characteristics
Yeah, I think we,
can't be ignored.
yeah.
no, but I think we zero in, I mean, Hungry Hill really zeroes in on item 2.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
So that's why we're looking at the industry, the workers. That makes sense.
I found one of the artifacts from an earlier meeting where it said, was it 56.7% of the structures are pre-1970.
Great.
And the event also was the creation of the first plat, correct?
Creating
Yeah, so,
opportunities.
and that's
for-
where it goes into one again as well, because regardless, we're talking about a specific area, regardless of the historic homes that are in there, the people that traveled from there to go down to whatever. So we're specifically talking about that area, so.
And this created lots for the businesses along the highway, lots for people to move into the area, to build homes.
Yeah, but if we just have to pick one to qualify, we could add any narrative we want
Yeah,
at any time.
we can,
We describe what we're trying to convey.
we can include all.
Probably be in the historical
Yeah.
narrative.
Yeah, if we choose to.
Good stuff.
So 2 is the kind of initial focus.
It's the lead.
The lead.
Okay.
That's all I got for district application.
Okay. Any other things you want to share that's going on citywide?
Let's see.
Like you're telling people to launch their.
That's right.
You know, poor guy,
I know, he's gonna get on you, Diane.
no, he won't, because,
He's very nice.
no, we've been friends forever, and like I said, we encouraged him not to do row homes next to Glen Otto. Glenn and me were pertinent in that conversation. Please don't do that,
He
okay?
did a nice job.
They did a fabulous job, even he gave me some stuff from Anita's house, lighting in there, and he came back and asked for them back. I go, of course, you're gonna keep the home historic, this belongs with it. So he cares.
Yeah, he
you know.
does, yeah.
He does care.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay,
And even if you did want to put something else in there, that I would feel sorry for anybody that tries to take out that retaining wall. Property.
The cost of,
Yeah, well, I mean, it would take a small army of people to tear it out.
yeah, it depends on which hat you're wearing. I mean, if you're wearing a planning hat, it's a different game. So you have to follow code, you have to look at the,
Yeah, there's very much many ways to build and keep the house. We've explained it in that way numerous times.
I think we just hit the topic on focus on design, and not as much on density.
okay. Nick, is there anything else?
Yeah, we talked about it a little before. New city manager was
Yes.
agreed by council.
And say the name again.
It is Mike Weston.
Mike Weston. Is he related to the Weston?
Oh,
Car dealers?
I don't know.
Is he from this area?
He was in Montana for a period of time.
Let's see.
So he's currently city manager at King City,
For about 8 years.
and is not going to be sad about leaving that job.
Worked at the Port of Astoria.
Why is that?
Well,
That's not necessarily a great thing to lead into an interview with, that you're
well,
unhappy.
during the meet and greet, the other night, I mean, he communicated that, he was having some challenges with the King City Council. There's apparently a lot of discord on the King City Council right now. And he said that one of the things that made the Troutdale job attractive is that the Troutdale City Council seemed to be working very nicely together, which is something he definitely does not have in King City right now.
Interesting.
Good time.
It does not say where he's from, but he works as a planner in Clatsop County.
Yeah, he's kind of worked his way up. I read all of their little brief bios.
Yeah, kind of all over Oregon.
I liked what he did in Astoria. That was cool. Good background.
And then next meeting, so our July meeting, we'll have a new member, and that is Donna Landers.
I don't recall that. I don't recall that.
I hope so.
The committee
I
had
hope so
picked.
too.
So there was a.
Committee ready.
That's what they tell me. I got an email.
I will not be here that day. I will not make the 24th.
Sick.
You're really sorry.
Wouldn't break my heart, it's my anniversary, so.
No, we might have to
okay.
cancel.
Then we can do it. Or make,
It's not about me.
July recess. If
could we,
that's
will we lose any, we don't want to lose momentum.
No, we're kind of what we're at is like stasis of getting to get on planning commission to go through.
Okay.
So it's just like a waiting game.
I will be out of town on the 24th as well.
There we go.
I'll be up in
How
Seattle.
about we do recess, but you have some paperwork so that we're prepared for first Friday in August, whoever that is that will pass the information out.
Great.
Why did you put me down as the passer of information?
Starting to feel better already.
First Friday.
Also, and I don't want to give you more work, but it would be interesting if we're talking about, do you want to register your historic tree or what? If we had that information and a little bulletin board, that's a good conversation.
Now,
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, especially at First Friday.
That's just a
That's a
good,
great idea.
yeah, that way we could talk about it and just, and even have a picture.
TBD.
I don't know, some of the pictures she's doing from Hungry Hill or whatever. Then we could start letting people know this is Hungry Hill, and then also about, yeah, do you want to register your tree or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, it's a great idea.
Great.
That way we're engaging the
Yeah,
community.
and people know they can do that.
Yeah.
Because I bet you so many don't.
Yeah.
there's this neat sign that says City of Trees as you come into the city too. It's over on the River Highway.
I think at one time we were, yeah, it's a thing,
It's a
Yeah,
thing.
Tree City USA is
City
Yeah.
USA.
is like a specific
Right. a
registration.
long time ago.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it for me.
That's it for you. Any
Cities are.
commissioner comments from anyone?
I had a question concerning, I was doing a run up to Mount Hood Community College, and there's a homeless guy at the corner of Stark and where the tree is right there.
The Copper Beach.
I didn't realize you could pull out the placard.
Oh.
Yeah, hang it over his head.
Oh. That is Mount Hood Community College.
And that brought up my question, has it been updated? I know we had a time.
No, it has not, but the verbiage is not quite as horrible as
The dates are wrong.
yeah.
So that was my question was, maybe you could take it and that would take care of the whole verbatim. Anyway,
We could,
put it back, by the way. It was
put it
pretty cool.
back. Okay.
Wait, so what did he take?
It's literally on a tube that goes into the assembly, and you can just pull it out, and
Yeah.
he had it over his head, and then he was like, check this out, like the Rocky Balboa moment.
Is it bronze?
Yeah.
Is it scrap, for something for scrap metal?
What's that?
It's bronze, right?
Yeah, it's bronze, it's
Yeah.
heavy, it's not
Yeah.
light. I went over and pulled up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I guess you can just pull this out and remove it.
Okay.
He didn't steal it, it's still there,
It's
but
still there.
Okay, well, probably not too many people think of trying to pull on that thing.
Well, yeah, it's not gonna last much longer if that's being advertised.
No, yeah.
Rick would know how to secure it,
Yeah.
not that it's hard.
Oh.
Who would? Yes. I can contact
Make a
you,
note for John.
you need to get a hold of
It's not
the community college.
It's not ours.
City.
No.
About the plaque?
Falls under, isn't that IGA? There's a new trail up there.
It's probably, if it's on a tube underneath, it's probably somehow, there's probably some kind of fastener
So
underneath
could we
the
put a
rock.
pin in there and lock it up and, yeah,
Probably some rock has to be removed to
Someone's
put
just
it in
gonna
there. Yeah, they will.
take it and
Yeah.
anyway, it was on my observations when I was cruising by.
Yeah. Good one. Anything else? You're gonna get flyers for First Friday, and
Okay.
Frank and Diane are going to share those. And maybe something about trees, about, do you have an old tree? Do you have an old tree, historic tree? Maybe it's historic.
Yeah, something like that, for sure. Probably exactly like that.
How old is your tree? Have a contest.
Is your tree older than you are?
Yeah, I'm thinking of something like that, yes.
You may qualify for the great honor of having a historic tree in Troutdale.
Yeah. You may not be historic, but your tree is.
you may be historic, your tree isn't.
Which one's more historic? That's the
All
question.
right, well, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Second that.
We are adjourned, thank you.
See you, Paul.
I think Paul has a,
Paul?
Paul's got to
Oh,
say,
Bob's got a
anything?
question. How long have we been ignoring you?
Not long. I think I heard some people are going to be absent next month. Just want to remind you, you're supposed to elect your officers in July.
Not yet.
We're supposed to do,
Sure.
do what? We did that at the beginning of the year.
that's
Yours in January, thank you.
No, that's a new year. Starts over in July 1.
We're based on a fiscal?
Okay, well, we're not gonna be here in July, we're not having a
we
meeting,
don't have
so we'll have
quorum.
to do it the following
Oh,
meeting.
for chair and vice chair?
Yeah, officer.
We do it twice a year apparently now. Okay,
Only once a year. Yeah, but if you skip the meeting, no problem. Do it in August.
Yeah.
okay, thank you, Paul.
Okay.
All right, are we adjourned?
Yeah.
Excellent.
That's a great point.